Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Grande, and I am here today because people have written me asking me to go over the case of Adolf Hitler. Now, I'm not one that has actually examined Mr. Hitler, so anything I'm saying here is just pure speculation. You also can speculate, do I have my pants on? Because in the age of Zoom and film in your room, one never knows. I'm not going to tell you, but there could be a clue or two that I don't even know about that would give you that answer. But, if you'd like to support my page, please press on the button down below and contribute what you think would be appropriate. Okay, Adolf Hitler, and the pronunciation there is Adolf, not Adolf. He didn't like Adolf at all. Matter of fact, the consequences could be severe if you called him Adolf. It's Adolf. He was born in Austria, at the turn of the century, thereabouts, and he came from a family that was not so nice to him. His father, and who doesn't blame their father? My father was nice to me. My father didn't beat me enough. Now, that's my problem. But his father did beat him. He was very abusive to him, very abusive to his mother. The whole shebang. Poor Adolf. He grew up with an emotional disattachment from family love. So he joins the German army in 1917, 1918, and he's humiliated by the experience. They're absolutely defeated, and then after the war is over, they're blamed for starting it, and horrible reparations are made against Germany. See, reparations, whole different topic. Anyway, what happens next is Adolf wants to become a painter, and he's, to my eyes, his paintings aren't bad. But when you do look at them, they're not great either. I mean, if I had the discipline to, well, the Book of Human Bondage explains that, which is a book I read thinking there'd be pictures, but there aren't. It's about a guy that wants to be a painter. He's very, very, intense about it. He spends all his time painting, and he goes to the Sorbonne or wherever in France, and he's told by a professor after a year or two, he says, look, I'm going to do you a great favor. And it may be hard for you to take, but you really put your full life into this. You do more work than anybody I know, but you suck as a painter. So, it's not just the desire and the work. If you don't have the talent, you're not going to do it. So Adolf was told the same sort of thing in the same area of the world, that as much as he'd like to be a painter, he doesn't got the right stuff. The thing is, you got to find out something you can do well. And Mr. Hitler, Adolf, if you will, becomes vocal about the whole humiliating German experience of what happened after World War I, and he starts making these speeches, and he's got dissociative dictator syndrome, is what we call it, and he catches on. I mean, he doesn't care what you think of him, basically. He's just talking a blue streak. He's going nuts about everything that happened to Germany that shouldn't have happened, and lo and behold, a star is born. He gets out the soapbox, he gets on top, he gets a crowd, he gets the beer hall, push, in the bush thing going on, and what happens is he builds a following. Now, this was before influencers, before, the internet, before a lot of things. And, so he gets in trouble with the authorities. They put him in prison for being a racketeer, somebody that's trying to, disrupt society. They get a few criminal charges going against him. And in prison, and everybody in prison has a golden opportunity if they just take care of it. Even if it's the death penalty, because there's time, Very few people do. But he does. He writes a book called Mein Kampf, which is my struggle. He lays it all out. This is what has to happen. Now, you write a book. I mean, look at John Kennedy. He wrote Profiles in Courage. Look at Obama. He wrote, I don't know what he wrote, but he wrote a book. I read it. It wasn't so bad. But all these leftist, socialist types write books. The Republicans don't tend to write a book because, Who wants to read a book? What are you going to get out of a book, right? I mean, Trump wrote a book, but he was looking to establish his brand, and then he did The Art of the Deal. Now he's going so far beyond that he doesn't even need to remember that book. But anyway, Hitler writes a book, gains even a further audience, gets out of prison, and his personality disorder, which again I haven't met the man, so I'm just speculating, right? He becomes in the political circle, Germany that falls into a depression, and there's nothing like rallying the troops and giving them somebody to hate. So he's also got hate build up order. That's not a disorder, that's an order. Only following orders. So good old Adolf Hitler becomes the Chancellor of Germany. And people think, just like they are about Biden now, well, what could possibly go wrong? We'll figure it out as we go along. He can't be that bad. Well, bad and worse. Depending how you look at it. There are people like Charles Lindbergh and Celine and a few others of notable reputation that, to the very end, thought Hitler had a good idea. Even a few Jews in that mix. But, a good idea and an idea that ultimately is going to get you 6 feet under are two different things. And, Hitler had his moment. His moments. He had like a 7 or 8 year buildup. I mean, Kristallnacht, the 36 Olympics, you take baby steps, tiny steps towards your goal. And eventually he starts invading other countries. And, the rallying again, rally the troops by hate the Jews. Now, that's what he hated. He hated the Jews. Now, he also gets a girlfriend, Eva Braun. So he's got a little bit of everything going for him. Starts the World War, makes a lot of pacts and agreements, breaks a lot of pacts and agreements, decides he wants to rule the world. He's got his Third Reich. He's got a lot of theater going on for him, and he gets in over his head. Now, here's the thing about that sort of personality. They want more than they can chew, and he's going on all fronts. And then he goes to, he gets France, he gets Poland, he gets, all these little European countries. They're not all that well defended or, very much, along that line of being anything but, falling down, being a doormat when the time comes. England stood a pretty good defense against them, but America wanted to stay out of the war, and then Hitler goes into Russia, figuring everything else is falling pretty easy, but he can't get to Moscow. He tries and he tries and he tries. But Moscow, the Russians, as badly as they're treated by Stalin, they know that the devil you know versus the devil that you see coming. And they would not, catapult. Finally, Hitler says, well, Moscow is only symbolic. We pretty much got Russia anyway. And then the Russians come at him with tank after tank after tank. And, tanks for the memory, right? It becomes a bad thing. And, and basically the outcome is it spools out. Hitler is defanged, he's depressed, he's defeated, and he ends up killing himself. Now, here's the thing. You put Nixon in a bind, he leaves. Well, I did my best, and something, wherever the world puts you is not defining of your victories. And I will see you around. And there's old Donald Trump. I mean, he gives a speech. We did a great job, and our job is not finished. I mean, they don't kill themselves. They basically indicate that their mission is still, going forward. So Hitler wasn't really a leftist, but he was hard to peg. National socialism. He was a fascist and a socialist. I mean, he's whatever you want him to be. So was Hitler a bad guy? Well, probably not as bad as Charles Manson. I mean, Charles Manson was a kook. He did have a girlfriend, and they say sex was not his thing, so we're going to have to disregard that. I guess occasionally somebody comes along that's just a little crazy, and, and he tells people about his craziness, and instead of them saying, go away, they latch on. A lot of people in Germany were pretty, I don't know. It's like people today. A lot of people are really upset. So, so Hitler, we used to play a game as a kid, heaven or hell. Is Hitler in heaven or is Hitler in hell? Now, most people would say, but I don't bet on anybody. I can't speculate. I would certainly be surprised. Let's just put it this way. I'd be happily surprised, and I intend to get to heaven. But if I got to heaven and there was Hitler saying, hello, another Jew here, I'd say, the world is a mysterious place all around. So we're going to conclude this by saying that if you like Hitler, and, not many people admit to it. I don't like Hitler. I think Hitler was a bad dude, man. I mean, he would have gone after me. I mean, he might have seen me as a Jew. Do you see me as a Jew? Well, I guess if that tie just touched my thingamajig. Anyway, I told you there was going to be clues. So, anyway, I'm Dr. Grande, David Grande, Phil Grande, whatever type of Grande you'd like me to be. And that was my analysis of Adolf Hitler. Again, I'm only speculating. I'm not saying he was a bad guy. I ain't saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's in heaven. I'm not saying he's down below. I'm just saying that if you want to think about something for about 15 minutes, 12 minutes, or whatever it's been, think of Hitler. I mean, I'm not wearing a mask. There we go. It doesn't sound so good. Anyway, please join me for my next episode where we will go over the second most hated person in the world, Nancy Pelosi. But again, number 2 has varied. I mean, number 2, you're number 2 for a few months, few weeks, and then somebody else take. Number 1 is the lonely spot. It's the spot. It's the top spot. So please, I really thank you for joining me. If you'd like to, again, if you'd like to do something nice for me, touch my thing below and contribute money. This is Dr. David Grande. I'm a psychiatrist, a lay psychiatrist, all right? I mean, who has time to work for a living and also, what am I going to do? Prescribe drugs for everybody that comes in my office? Oh, Dr. Dave, I got to tell you something. My mother died, my father died, I lost my job, my car broke down, and I'm depressed. Well, here, I'm going to give you some knockout pills that I get a nice vacation in Peru for, doling out. I mean, that's crazy. Be a lay psychiatrist and just do people some good, work a regular job, and whatever damage you do, at least you're not doing it for personal profit. I thank you very much, and again, Nancy Pelosi, next time.